What's up, guys? Appreciate you watching this episode of RSG, man. If you may not know, we have just started our Discord channel, man. If you want to be able to sit down with us, have some conversations, have some banter back and forth, come see us.
We have an active channel where you guys can talk with Justin and I regularly, and we have race predictions.
And occasionally on Sunday, you'll be able to speak to Rod and I personally, and also we'll have guests.
And when we drop any announcements or merch, that'll be the first place you can see it.
And we'll also have some lucky fans be able to ask some questions to our guests. So hit the link in the bio.
Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. Gatlin. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin. It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
And what a fantastic performance from Gatlin, and look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
What's up, everybody? Back with another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building. You know who I'm rolling with, the bearded wonder himself. Rodney Green's in the building, man. How's your week been going, bro? What's going on, man? A lot of stuff is happening. What's going on your side?
Man, my week's been busy, man. Listen, I've traveled, just getting back from Mother's Day. Yeah, I mean, this weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, the track mothers out there too. You know what I mean? All the mothers that's running and have babies and doing it for their babies. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Nia Lee, Quinera Hayes, just to name a few. Those are some of the mothers I know. I don't know them all personally, but I know there are mothers running. I know there's more, but those are the ones that I know. So I want to say happy Mother's Day to all of those ladies. Hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. But I had to travel with that equipment. Boy, Justin, I don't know how you do it.
Listen, it's a dedication that's wrapped in a headache, for sure. Going through the airport, getting your bag opened up, they trying to figure out what is this, what's that. It's a lot that goes with it, bro. A lot that goes with it. Now you had a taste of it now, so you know what it feels like to travel with all this equipment, but it's not in vain, man.
It's definitely worth it because we just hit 30 million impressions on our show, man.
Whoa, man, clap it up for that. Whoa, that's what I'm talking about, dog. That's what I'm talking about. Them M's.
Them M's.
Them real M's too, dog. Them real M's. Wow.
Yeah, man, we've been grinding since what? 2024, man. 2024?
And letting y'all know, man, everyone watching, man, I mean, this is a project. This is something that it's our baby. This is something that we've grown from the ground up organically. We're building it, looking for the sponsorships for it because we love our sport. We love being able to talk about it. And even if we wasn't doing this podcast with 30 million views, I will be sitting on Rod's couch right now talking about this stuff.
Or vice versa. I'll be sitting on this couch, vice versa.
Or vice versa. We still be talking about this, but now we're able to talk about it with you. So we are honored. Thank you so much for watching, participating, loving what we do. And we want to make sure we keep building and getting bigger and better for y'all.
Definitely, man. Shoot, we had a really, really, really busy weekend after this weekend, man. We going to start out, man, with definitely the Doha Diamond League, man. Doha, usually you love Doha, man. You have a few records out there still standing. You know what I mean? They didn't run the men's 100. You still hold the men's 100 record out there, which is pretty swift. It was 974.
That's that 974 right there, boy. and it's in the old stadium. They ran in the old stadium. They didn't run in the World Championship stadium. They ran in the old stadium where it's like only like, I don't know, maybe 9 rows. It's a short stadium. Like literally, like you go walk to the top, you got about the 9th row, and then everything else is just like, I love that breeze that comes over the top of it. And it's usually always a breeze to your back. So you usually get a good wind behind you, man. I love that stadium. I'm glad they're running back in that stadium again. That's what the world records were, man. That's what my world record. When I broke a world record, that's what a world record was.
Yeah, 976, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 976. I don't think you've ran slower than 989 in that stadium.
Yeah, I went 987. I went 976. I went 974. Doha.
That's a good place.
That's a great place.
Maybe you need to take a vacation there and just go out there and just be like, thank you.
You know what? I might have to do that, man. I might have to do that.
Man.
And say, especially since Trump is out there getting them jumbo jets, boy. Listen, y'all handing out jets and stuff like that, and camels and cyber trucks with police sirens on top of y'all. Qatar has so much money they don't even know what to do with it. They be doing some stuff like, that they bored. Like, you know what? Let's make a Bugatti a police car. They have a Bugatti that's a police car there, bro. Like, you're right. I think we need to go to Doha, bro, because clearly,
definitely.
Clearly, they need us there. Clearly.
Man, we gonna get started with somebody who's definitely on a hot streak, man. We gonna get started with Salwa Nassar, man. She went out there and she did a thing in the 400, man. Man, she definitely did a thing, man, because like the competition wasn't even close, right? She's running 49.8. She tied the meeting record with Allison Felix, which is a really good time around this time of year, even though she has the world lead at 48.6. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see her in the next Grand Slam either, because, she out there, even if Sawa doesn't have a sponsorship, she's going to end the year with a pretty big bag, okay? She would have made her corn. She would have made her money. She's done really well. If something was to happen right now, she didn't want to run no more. She's made enough. She's made pretty good money for the year already. I'm pretty sure.
Listen, bro. She's already ran 2 Grand Slams, Jamaica and Miami. And she ran a couple of races before then. But let's just focus on the Grand Slam part of things. The money that she probably has made from the Grand Slam right now would have definitely covered 2 championships for her. And she's about to go into Philly. And then she still has LA. She good, bro. Like, listen, them Grand Slam people right now, they are good for the season, dog. Now, anything after Grand Slam for these athletes who are really dominating Grand Slam, it's really just, bruh, I'm doing it because I can do it. I'm beating you because I just can beat you. That's what it is, bro. That's what it is. Like, look at Kenny. Kenny told me in person while we was in Jamaica, he's like, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, I don't need to go out the country. I don't need to go run in Doha. I don't need to go run on any other Diamond League. I'm making all the money and then some right here, right now, even before I get to a championship. So he's good. And that takes that pressure off of you of like, you trying to balance between like running well because you love the sport, you run well, but also you want to get paid for your efforts. Like, now you can pay for your efforts. Now you can say, you know what? Let me roll these sleeves up real quick and do some work because I got the money in the bank. We do it. Let's get it done.
I think that's cool, but I think the greatest thing about our sport is we're one of the only sports to where you could travel the world and lap it maybe 2 or 3 times before the age. If you're a good athlete from childhood all the way up into like your early 20s, you would have lapped the world probably 2 or 3 times, traveling to these countries from junior teams all the way up to professional ranks. So I think that's definitely the best part. Yes, training and running here in your country is good, but I think I love that part because, in the NFL, you're paying within the continental United States. NBA, they mostly pay in the continental United States, you know what I mean? The dudes from overseas are trying to get over here to play, but they're trying to do that to make the money. You know what I mean? I think our sport is just so unique in where you can make money, travel the world at the same time, where your friend got a planet. I remember I went to Paris maybe three times in one summer, and I had a friend planning their trip, like to go to Paris like the whole year is like their screensaver. I was like, oh yeah, I've been there before.
three times. 3 times,
in one summer.
It's true though, bro. Like, you realize, like, as you get older and you look back in your early 20s, if you're out there traveling on the circuit, getting to go to these different places that people wish or they save up their money, it's part of their bucket list to do. Like, you take that for granted. You realize, like, man, I've been in Paris 3 times, in 1 year, you know what I mean? Or I've been in Japan so many times, or I've been to Rome so many times and seen the Colosseum. you don't realize, like, at the end of the day, like, people cherish these moments, and we kind of look at it like, all right, we just back again.
Yeah.
Here we are, we back.
Bro, I've been to India. Seeing the Taj Mahal in 2010, bro, for Commonwealth Games. It was crazy, man. I got to meet Prince Charles, well, King Charles, but he was the prince then. Got to meet Prince Charles at that time, like, but like, it's true. Like, it's true to what you said. Like, we take it for granted. We just be like, yeah, going on another trip.
Yeah, bro.
When people say save up to have that one trip all year, talk about it all year, you to travel to all these places. You know, we could go to sleep in Germany and wake up in Belgium. You know what I mean?
Listen, and the way we travel, let's just omit the fact that we go and run, right? Just take the running aspect out of it. It's almost like you won a radio contest because you get a free trip, you get free lodging, and you get to be there for at least 3 to 4 days.
I think we should advertise that more to the kids, man, to show them, like, bro, you can broaden your horizons real early. You know what I mean? Give you a different perspective on life. You know what I mean? That's something that we don't advertise in track and field that I really think is the advertising point. That you can travel the world really easy on somebody else's dime.
100%. And if you're good and really apply yourself, you can come back with money. Like, most people who travel, they lose money for the experience. But you can go get the experience and come back with money. Tell me, bro, that is a cheat code, bro. That is a cheat code right there, dog.
I'm trying to tell you. You would have handled business, travel for free, and came back with a bag.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I miss those days. For sure, I do miss those days.
Shoot. Back to the beat, though, man. Listen, we seen somebody who we wanted to see. Lieke Klaver was there from the Netherlands. I was like, girl, where you at? She was there. She got third.
Okay.
She ran 50
we know she ain't injured then.
Yep, we know she ain't injured. We still haven't seen Femke. And shout out to Natalia from Poland, man. She ran 50.92 to get second. You know what I mean? One of the exciting races that we don't always talk about all the time, man, the 800. I don't know if you watched the 800, man. The 800 was really epic. It had a world lead out there. You know, the world lead, the guy who held it, I don't want to say his name wrong. Is it Josh Hoey?
Josh Hoey, yeah. He held the world lead. He held the world lead.
Yeah, and they broke that bad boy. Well, I don't want to say I'm gonna try to say his last name from Botswana. Masalia. I know I got that wrong. I know.
Damn, boy, how many L's you got up in there, dog? He said Masalia.
Masalia. He definitely crushed the field, man. Watching him go out in his last lap and come around on that last lap. And then you had 3 of them charging, man. It was almost like a line-to-line finish of them coming through on that 800. It was very, 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 very fun to watch. You had 143 all the way down to 4th place. 143, 143, 142, 143.
Which is crazy, because usually if you're running a 143, you dominating the race, period. Now you got guys out here all the way down to 4th place who are running 143. And but a boy from Botswana, he went out there and almost scared the meet record, which is held by David Rudisha. So
the world record holder.
the world record holder.
Yeah, man. The world record holder. If anybody don't know, you was there when David Rudisha ran his world record, man. What was that like?
Man, first of all, David is so cool, so chill. You wouldn't even think that he was a fast, competitive runner. He just always showed up with a smile on his face, like, hey, how you doing? Good. He always had a whisper to his voice too. Hey, man, you good? Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm about to go out here and just break the world record real quick. Hold on, real quick. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. So listening to him, man, and watching him perform at that high level, man, it was amazing to watch. You know, I think coming from the world of sprints, you watch athletes like David Rudisha, Mo Farah, they went out there and made distance running, middle distance running, entertaining to people who aren't really well versed in that field, right? Especially when we were competing, we were just thinking about sprints. And then, but we'll go out there and be like, man, that boy David is a bad boy. Like, look at him, boy. He out there moving. Same thing with Mo. So now I think you're going to have people that are going to step up to that plate who are running these 43s, 143s, and it's going to make it very entertaining going into Diamond League finals, going into the World Championships. I think you're going to see some really hot times. And I mean, at some point in time, we thought David Rhodesia's time was put so far away that we was like, ain't nobody coming out there breaking that. But these guys are coming knocking on the door and be like, hey man, this is where the world record is. Let me see what it looked like. I may want to take it.
Definitely, man. But I definitely thought that race was amazing. The hurdles. This guy, I think, definitely is going to be a threat. He always is battling injury, though. I mean, Rashid Bardbell. You know what I mean? I always see him as a super threat. He's sub 13 seconds before. He won the Diamond League in 13-14, which is a really solid time, especially around now. I want people to understand that we are still early in the season. Like, you don't have to be running super fast, even though the world lead right now by Cordell Tinch is 12:87, which is real wild. But I'm just saying, like, 13-14, Jamal Britt was second with 13-25, and Enrique was 13-27. Really solid race, but I think Rashid Bardbell is one to watch. He's definitely going on my RSG list. If he can stay healthy all the way down to the World Championships, this is the guy to watch.
I agree with you, and I'm going to put him on the RSG watch list for mine as well. And I say that because, not because of the time he came out with, but because how he acquired that time and that win. He was going hurdle for hurdle with Jamal Britt. They were hitting the hurdles, come off the hurdles at the same time. It's just the fact that the pressure got to Jamal Britt, and about hurdle 8, Jamal kind of clipped that hurdle, and then it gave a competitive edge to Bardbell, which he was able to pull out the W. And you can see when he come across that finish line, he was like, he wasn't so much worried about the time, but you could tell like he was there for the battle. And that tells me right there, if you're ready for the battle and not really concerned too much about the time, you are a dangerous individual. That means you're ready to do something big. That means you're ready to go out there and run big, because I can stay with these guys who are sharp already.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But we're going to see. We're going to see. With that being said, he definitely, and the reason why I put him on my list, because he was one of those guys that defeated Grant before. You know, when Grant was Grant, like he came off the World Championship win and he lost to him before, but he didn't lose them with a slow time. That guy ran like 12:9 when he lost to him. So, you know what I mean? That the lineup for the 110 hurdles is just looking so deep right now. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see Grant get back on the track, man. To see where he goes, or when he's going to get back on the track. I definitely want to see from him.
Yeah. So he I think he's Grant's yin. He's Grant's yang to Grant's yin. I guess that's how you would say it, right? Grant is known to be a great starter, gets out especially for the first half of his flight of hurdles. He does an amazing job, pulls away from the field. But that Bardbell, boy, that second half of the race is Bardbell's race. That's where his bread and butter is, man. From like 6 on, Bardbell is like hitting like a steam freight. Like he's getting it, you know? So crazy. I'm ready to see these guys really line up and get it going, especially when they're all in peak shape. I love hurdles, bro. You already know it, bro. That's my thing. Like, I love the sprint. I love sprints, but hurdles is really so close to my heart, man. That's what really got me started in track and field.
Yeah, that's your first love, so I don't think you're gonna really run too far from her. You know what I mean? I know she gonna be right around the corner waiting on you. Man, listen, we've watched and we've been waiting for her to run again, and she has run again. Mommy Rocket, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, man. She's out there. She was in Doha. She ran. She I don't know if you saw her pre-interview, her pre-race interview, man. She was talking about how Jamaica's definitely in the good hands of the new youth coming up, man, and speaking about the country and everything else. She did run, But after saying that, watching what happened in the race and her losing to two of her countrymen, which happened to be siblings, and Tina and Tia, it clearly shows Jamaica is definitely in good hands because they ran really good times and around this time of year too. They ran a new world lead, and Tia Clayton running 10:92 and Tina running 11:02. Amy Hunt with 11:03 and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce with 11:05. What were your thoughts on the race, man, when you watched?
Going to the Olympics and being the only Jamaican to represent for the females, she came away with that experience with confidence, realizing that I can handle this on the big stage. I can do this. This is the Olympics, and I am the only female out here representing Jamaica in the sprints. That was a big, tall order that she fulfilled, and she did a great job for that. What I'm saying and getting to my point is she's taking that confidence that was last year, pouring it into her season this year. And she realizes that, why do I hesitate? Why do I need to think that I'm not good enough for this moment or the moment's bigger than me? She went out there with the intent of winning this race. And that's exactly what she did. You know, with so much respect that she has for Shelly-Ann or any other females that are in that race, she said, I'm coming to win. I realize what the big moment is. And I've been at the big moment. I saw it in person. So now the regular season is something I'm just coming to dominate. And that's what she did. She went out there and ran 10:92. And she wasn't concerned. She went out there and ran her phases, did great. And what I love about that race is that both sisters weren't even next to each other in the race. And they weren't even able to pull off each other. It was the fact that they were separated and they both still got the job done. And I think the contagion lies in the fact of Tia went to that big show in Paris. And now Tina was like, tell me all about it. Let me know exactly what it felt like. What does it mean to you? Because I want to be able to replicate what you're replicating. And Tina was like, you ain't gonna leave me in the dust. I'm about to come with you. So watching them run at that Doha race, to drop a 10:92 and 11:02, I think that was really good for them. Really good for them. It shows their standing. It shows that they're ready to run fast. It shows that they want to compete at a high level. And you already know who they coach by. Frano's like, hey, we ain't coming here to lose. So if you coming all this way to lose, you might as well go ahead and pack your bag before the gun even goes off, because we came here to get it done. And that's what they did. They got it done. For Mommy Rocket, I'm never really concerned about her when it comes to the normal season. She always shows up when it counts. And when you're a big athlete who's won multiple championships, if she goes out there and gets on that podium, no one's going to remember that she got fourth in Doha earlier that season. They're going to be like, okay, cool. Like, she's winding up, getting into the flow, and she's always been clutch in a lot of the situations that we've seen her be clutch in. So I'm not too worried about it. I think that probably the sisters caught her off guard, and, you know, she's at the end of her career. She knows it. So the moment that is the biggest moment is going to be for her going into that World Championships, man, and making that team.
Definitely. I love to see how she competed. I think she goes back and tweaks a few things. Like I say, I always take experience over talent. You know what I mean? She's no longer the talented, youthful athlete that she was. She's the experienced, talented athlete. So I think she knows her body. She'll talk to her coach. Her coach will let her know what's in her training, things they need to tweak and go forward. They'll converse, and then they'll go forward and try to better the next race. So she said she wanted to race a lot more this year, because in the last couple of years, she hasn't raced as much. So I definitely love to see it. I definitely like that she's telling people what she's going to do, because I'm pretty sure every meet she goes to, once they hear that it's Mommy Rocket's last round, and I haven't heard her say that, even though we're saying it and commentators are saying it, she hasn't said this is her last round. I'm waiting for her to confirm that and say, yes, it is. But we've heard people say it, but I haven't heard her confirm that yet and said, yes, this is my last year. So
I would love to see her. in a Grand Slam. I think it would do wonders for her, because we know that she uses 200s to be able to make her hundreds faster, and to be able to run those 200, 100 doubles periodically, you know what I'm saying, over the span of 3 to 4 months. I think that it would have gave her what she's looking for right now, you know what I'm saying, in those races. But she knows what she's doing. She's gotten it done before. I always take my hat off to people who leave their coach or separate from their coach, and that coach is the one that put them on the map, and they're able to go out there and still dominate, still run faster than when you was with that coach. And she's done that over and over again.
Hats off to you, Shelly. Man, Tebogo out there showing out, boy. He out there showing out over there, looking at people. Listen, but this, like I tell people before, this ain't no new Tebogo. Tebogo been doing this since he was a under 20 athlete. We've watched him do this in 100 when he ran 991. But him and Courtney Lindsay in this 200, I don't know if people remember from last year, Courtney Lindsay he's beaten Tebogo in the first couple of 200s of the year and ran really fast times. So I think this is a reemergence of Tebogo and Courtney Lindsay going at each other again. I think that look was like, hey, I remember last year, this is a different kind of me this year, Playboy. I think he was kind of letting them know, hey, boy.
So would you go off to say that they have early season rivalries?
Yeah, I would definitely. It's a friendly rivalry though, because when you watch Tebogo look at him, you watch Courtney look back at Tebogo. So you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we know what it is. Like it's like them two was on a 1v1.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, and the thing about Tebogo is, we know Tebogo has so much talent. It's like it runs deep. And we've seen him do things very lackadays. Like, I'm going to go out here and just kind of jog a 20.10 and slow down to the line and look around. We've seen him do it when he was in U20. You know what I'm saying? So we know that he has a talent to get the job done. And we know his sweet spot is that 200 right now. So him showing up doing that, I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? And we know that Courtney isn't that kind of like a flashy kind of guy, or even one of those kind of track runners who kind of like shy away from, I want to say, competition, right? So that look was like, okay. And I think Courtney going to be like, okay.
I'm going to see you again.
I'm going to see you again. You know what I come with now. I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you down the road a little bit. So I'm waiting to see exactly what happens, because I do have a lot of confidence in Courtney, right? Courtney has ran 1977. I believe that he can run 9.7 once he gets his start down and his transition down. And I mean, he's with Dennis. So if Dennis can get Kenny's start together, then he damn sure can get Lindsay's start together for sure. So watching those guys go out there and bang it out and really kind of iron sharpens iron, I'm waiting for it to get that aha moment for Lindsay, and I think he will be a double threat for sure.
Definitely. I definitely see him. He gives me that whole type of raw pit bull type of vibe. Like, you ain't got to ask for that dog in him, boy. He just look like that dog in him, boy. I watched that boy warm up in a wife beater. Mind you, Nike give you a whole kit. They give you all kind of clothes to go out here and do it. That boy out there in a wife beater, boy.
That boy, you would thought that boy sponsored by Hanes, boy. Yeah, that wife beater all ready to go.
Man. And then our better late than never friend got third place. Joseph Fonville, the bullet. Yeah, man, he got third place, pulling up at the last minute, boy. He'll close out a race now. He gonna come running. You better not ease up on the line, because that boy gonna come nip you.
Exactly. Don't you slow down to that line if Fambulay's in that race.
I'm trying to tell you. That was most of the things that I definitely saw at Doha that I definitely enjoyed, man. Another meet. A few meets happened this weekend, man. We had the Atlanta, the Piedmont Park, Adidas Boost Games, right? everybody was waiting to see Noah, man. Noah announced that he was injured. He was there, but he was injured. Many of us, we talked about, watching to see what type of shape he was in. Most of us talked about him possibly breaking that 150-meter world record in 14.3 from Usain Bolt. He's tied Tyson record, I think. So what were your thoughts on him showing up and really not racing right now? What are we thinking about Noah?
Well, I mean, Noah is in that space right now where he's that guy, right? So it's not about running these one-off races to show your dominance. It's not necessarily going out there and breaking the world record in a unorthodox race like a 150. For him now, the bigger fishes to fry is nationals, world championships, and Diamond League finals, if so, right? But he's in that era where he wants to be an icon. He's proven that he's clutch. He's proven that he can show up. He's proven that he can win in those big moments when it's necessary, especially in races that are not his, how do you say it? His premier event. So if he's saying that he's injured, I would believe that he's injured, or his preparation isn't at the level that he needs it to be. And, he probably got that grace. And if he has a knick-knack injury, give him time to heal up. He has that bye. So it's not like it's a stress for him to go out and say, oh, I need to be ready to run right now. So when we get to nationals, I need to go. He is poised to be able to go out and try to win that moment. I know what it feels like to be in those situations where you have a bye. Had a bye in 2015, and it gives you so much more room to work with. It takes the stress off of you because now you can get in shape at the leisure of how you want to get in shape and be sharp how you want to be sharp, instead of showing the world and jumping out there in these smaller races or even Diamond League races trying to show who you are and what you're doing. So if he's hurt, he's injured, let him have his grace. Let him go out there and get ready. We already know what the song and dance is. You got to show up. You are the premier athlete for Adidas when it comes to track and field. You got to show up, shake some hands, kiss some babies, wave to the crowd, do whatever you got to do, and get back to work or get back to healing. So whatever it is, I'm not too concerned about Noah. Noah knows Noah, and Noah's going to show up when it's time to show up. I would say that balancing that I would say that Hollywood aspect now is a tricky part. And we've seen a lot of athletes who have arrived and they got a lot of recognition outside of our sport, and they're on magazine covers or they're doing, the Met Gala or whatever. And it takes away from their training sometimes. It takes away from those moments where you're hungry and you're resting and trying to get back out on the track and try to run faster and be stronger. And that's what your priority usually is. So now when you're getting ready for those moments that are very unorthodox to your preparation for your sport, you got to make sure you tread cautiously through those moments, because as those athletes who see the target on your back, they're coming for you. They remember that athlete in 2024. They remember that same athlete in 2023, in 2022. They're gunning for that guy. So if you show up any less than that, then it's going to be a problem for you. So I just make sure that he knows that his priority is track and field and retaining his titles, because as the icon he wants to be, you have to show up in those moments that are very iconic and get it done.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, man. I think wherever he's at in his training, I just know Noah as one of those athletes that thrive on confidence and competing. And with him not competing, that until I see him compete, then I'll be a lot less worried about Noah, because I know once he gets the first one out and then he starts to roll, then you're in trouble, because that's more comfortable he gets, the more he races. This is the first year that he would go into the year, and I think I said this on the last show, trying to defend these medals. There is a high expectation for him to defend. So that's the only reason why this year kind of looks a little different, especially with a lot of riders. Like, a lot of dudes are out there riding now, man. They out there riding in cars. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Noah would get rolled by anybody, but I'm definitely saying that these wouldn't be easy wins if Noah put his foot on the track. If he has to win, Noah would definitely have to be in really good shape to do so. He's not going to go out there with a gun half cocked and get it done.
Oh, absolutely. For sure.
Shoot. With that being said, man, them boys in the 200, they was out there in cars. Them boys, Zarnell Hughes and Jareem Richards went out there and put on a show in the straightaway 200, man. They went and 1955 and 1963, both seasons best in a very unorthodox race. I wanna ask this question, man. What you think you would have ran in a straightaway 200 if you ever got the chance to when you was in shape? Like, 1957 is your best, but yeah, I mean, what would have been? What do you think?
I don't know, bro. I think it would have been a real experience, because I'm so used to running with a curve. I'm so used to using a curve to create the centrifugal force and whip me off the turn and have a little more foot speed. You know, like, the turn guides you to realize, like, all right, I just covered 100 meters. Now I got another 100 meters to go. When I look at them run this 200 straightaway, I'm like, I think I would get out there and be like, when does this end? This is crazy. Like, you're running straight for 200 meters, and it's one of those situations where you be like, your body's like, all right, I think my body would be confused. I think it would be like, okay, where am I? We at 100? Is this 150? Is this 175? This 200? I think I just have to block it all out and just keep running straight, as fast, as technical as possible. I just find, like, the straightaway 200 to be very weird and unorthodox, but I would try it though. I would give it a shot. I would give it a shot.
Based on what I've seen off of what these two gentlemen ran, because they're in the best shape of their lives, and it's showing so. 1955 would be a PB and a straightaway, showing that Zarnell Hughes, his PB is 19.7 as the European record holder in the 200, and Jareem Richards, 19.8. He ran 19.6, and he was not far off his PB. Based on how these gentlemen ran it, it's basically saying, you know, I can be off a little bit, but it's basically saying that you possibly would have ran something like 19.3 in a straightaway. 19.3, something like 1938. Because these guys they're going through the 100 in 10:20. They all went through in 10:20. 10:20. That's what they. So,
hey, I'm gonna go off the calculations that you have there. 19.3 all day, baby. That's what I would have did for sure.
You was never a numbers guy. he was out there just, hey, where I'm stopping at.
Hey, I was always an A for effort kind of guy. Where I started and where I stopped at. Let me know. But that's why I have you as my friend, bro. You broke everything down for me while I was in my career. You had me saying, hey, bro, like, you in this kind of shape, right? I'm like, nah. And you'd be like, nah, look at the math. I'm like, what math? You'd be like, this math, look. And you would tell me what it is. I'm like, shut up, for real? I would have so much confidence when I would go overseas. I'm like, man, Rod just told me, boy, I'm about to run 9.7 on your food. Bam, make it so. And that's what it was, bro. I mean, that's where it was. But for Zarnell and Jareem, I feel like, for one, if I didn't see Jareem run 19.8 already this season, I'd be like, maybe the clock a little broke. Maybe the clock will malfunction a little bit. But knowing both of these individuals have ran Grand Slam races since the beginning, and both of them have had the opportunity to go out basically like double, right? At a high level. That shows me right there that their fitness and in shapeness is at a different level. And it's only going to get better. But they got 2 more Grand Slams, and then after that Grand Slam, it gives them a time for their body to kind of rest and start doing more one-offs. And if they're going to do one-offs like that, Bro, if I was Arnell or Jareem, I'd look at him and be like, oh, I just got 200. I'm about to cook this thing. I ain't got to run tomorrow, the next day either. I mean, because look at it. We already know Jareem had to come back, do a 2, and then back it up with a 4, or vice versa. Arnell has been doing hundreds and back it up with a 200, or vice versa. And now, as the Grand Slam finishes, they're going to go out there and do what we traditionally do. Fly hours overseas somewhere just to go run 100, or just to go run 200, and then you're done. Then that doesn't help you really get into shape. Now you got to go back home, start training even harder to be able to get into that level of shapeness that they're in right now, which is 19.6 and 19.5. I would love to see them put it back on the track and see what they can do in the next couple races.
Well, we about to see, because Grand Slam is about to hit Philly in a week or so. But
Facts.
I just want clarification for our fans. You're basically saying Grand Slam track is making these guys, sharpening these guys quicker with the races, so they're going to basically run faster in the one-offs.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Zarnell is running 100 meters against high caliber 100-meter guys in the Grand Slam, right? They may not be the top echelon 100-meter runners, but he's basically running against guys that would be in a Diamond League race or a high profile World Challenge race or whatever. So you got to really put foot to gas, right? You got to go out there and run. Now you got to backdoor the next day and go out there and run against, Kenny, Jareem, and all these other guys in the 200 meters. And you really have to be able to come off that turn and really try to execute your race to try to win this race. So I feel like this is really sharpening these guys and any athlete that right now that's in the Grand Slam, for them to be better, especially going into their nationals and beyond.
Thinking about how you said that, it happens to be very true. And I think you're going to have a lot of sleepers that people don't understand. When they drop, they ain't going to know how they drop. Especially like Argando from Dominica. Like, he doesn't run the 400 for real, even though he's in the long sprints and Grand Slam. But I think for somebody like him who already ran 19.8 and who's doing the 4, once he really gets into like speed work and he runs the 200 at Worlds, he was already on my list to watch out for, and he already ran 19.8 for a year. I feel like this young man gonna drop a bomb. He's coming. And I usually see it before it happened. But he coming. I told you that world record for the hurdles was going to be done this year. You was like, I don't see it. Then them girls ran them 212 boys. And he's like, I see it.
I see it now. I see it.
I said, listen, I'm trying to tell you, that young man, I would pay attention to that young man, because he don't run the 4 for real. He's not going to try to compete in that event at Worlds. He's only going to compete in the 200. And only being in the 200, he ain't trying to double like nobody else. That boy's going to be a threat. A
great gauge for me is going to be someone like MJ Wooden, right? Melissa Jefferson Wooden, like, she's not known to be a 200-meter runner, but she's put together some really good 200s when she had the second day, after she's already ran some good 100s. So usually when you run a good 100, your body's kind of taxed. You're kind of tired. And then you have to backdoor with a good 200. And she's won the Grand Slam, these last 2 Grand Slams. So she knows how to compete at a high level. Now, we've known Melissa and we've known Kenny to be in shape. They're elite in shapeness when it comes to like being around Olympic trials or going into the Olympics or World Championships, right? Now they're at that same in shapeness right now, and they're not even nowhere near nationals. She's in 10.8, 10.7 shape. Kenny's in 9.8, 9.7 shape right now. We both know that.
Yeah, we both know that. Yes, they definitely are. They definitely are. Shoot. And the women's 200, man, Lynn Irby Jackson put it down too, man. I like this Lynn Irby Jackson, man. She ran 22.22, a PB in the straightaway. She looks leaner. She looks a lot leaner. You know what I mean? Than she was before. I don't know if that is so, but she looks a lot leaner, which is great for her, man. She looks super light. Great start. great finish, looks super strong. You know what I mean? I like this Leonard Irby Jackson, man. What'd you think about that race?
Listen, any 400-meter runner that could come down and legitimately beat a 200-meter runner like Tamara Clark, like, you doing something. So with with Irby Jackson, right? Going out there and running 22.2 for a personal best, that means that she's getting ready to be able to run 400s at a different level. You know, if you could make your 200s better, it's always going to help your 400s. So for her to go out there and do that, and then you see someone like Talitha Diggs, who's been on the show, shout out to her. She's not scared either. She went out there and ran the season's best. So these ladies are really stepping up to the plate. It just seems like this season's not scared to step out of their comfort zone or whatever their traditional race is and really go out there and compete in a 200 or a 100 or whatever is necessary for them to be able to say, I'm in shape. My speed is up to par. Now I got to work on my speed endurance. And I think I'll be a more complete kind of athlete. So that's what we're seeing. You see Irby Jackson, you see Diggs, they're going out there and doing more 200s. We know that they're 400-meter runners, but it's almost like they're mimicking like this double 2-4 kind of thing that they would have.
100%. 100%. And you know, to Talitha, she's been battling some nicks and knacks early on in the season, so I just like to see her back on the track. She's not one to talk about it much, but I just love to see her back on the track and getting the season's best. So shout out to her. 200-meter hurdles, man. This the race we trying to see Grant in. You know, I wanted to see Grant and dos Santos in this race. I don't want to see, you know, I mean, and like Grant was absent, but I would have loved to see Grant and dos Santos battle in these 200-meter hurdles, bro. What's your thought?
It would be very interesting. I learned something from Marlon Odom, hurdle science. Shout out to Marlon. He explained to me and said, do you understand why Allison dos Santos ran away with that race the way he did? And he didn't even get out hard. It's because he was not afraid to alternate his lead legs. While you had someone like Caleb Dean who got out hard and he was still just kind of just staying with that same lead leg all the way through, Allison was, every hurdle was changing his lead leg. Boom, boom, boom. Where everyone was taking 7 steps, he was taking 6 steps. He was taking 1 step less than all of them. You see what I'm saying? So like, you got to have a strategy. You just can't go out there and run a 200-meter race like you're going to run a traditional 400-meter hurdle race, or how you're going to run a traditional 110 race. You got to come with a strategy. And clearly Allison dos Santos knows that strategy, because he made it seem like it was just a casual walk in the park. He didn't get out hard. He was with the pack, and he wasn't even leading at all. And then all of a sudden he just started turning over. And the next thing you know, bro, like he's gapped the field and in front of the pack, and he finished off with a 21.85. Second place, Caleb Dean with a 22.30. So that tells you the distance that he created throughout that race already.
Yeah, there's definitely a really good run. He makes everything look easy. I feel like at the end of his races, he want to open up a bottle of Dos Equis and be like, hey, hey.
That's what we want to see from him too, bro. Show who you are, man. Pop that bottle, dog. Just have a good time out there, bro.
Listen, every time I see him, he's having a good time, whether he's running, racing, or not. When I see him in Claremont or whatever, he just always looked like a happy-go-lucky guy, like nothing's bothering him. You know what I mean? So he was just on Real Talk with T. They had a wing edition, so y'all go check it out, man. Shout out to T. You know, she had an interview with him where they're eating the hot wings and doing the interview. I don't want to say too much, but you guys should go check it out.
I gotta see this, man. I gotta see this interview for sure.
Yeah, definitely a good interview.
You like hot wings? You like spicy wings like that?
You know I can't eat nothing hot. Boy, what are you talking about? Every time we go somewhere, when I ask, hey, is it hot? Oh no, I'm good.
You would think with your personality that you eat everything hot, dog. You be like, yeah, boy, I like it hot like that, man. But you can't even eat nothing hot, dog.
No, but I would be in the fetal position.
Listen, for all the viewers out there, we got to help Rod kind of broaden his taste buds, man.
No, sir.
my boy out here, he's not willing to try certain things, and then when he does try it, he don't know what he's doing. You remember when you had that guacamole and you put it in the microwave the next day?
I didn't know you could do it.
Boy, that thing,
I almost died.
Boy, you almost died, dog. That was crazy. You eating?
I ain't know. I ain't know.
That's like you cursing somebody. I hope your ass eat some damn microwave guacamole and your ass die.
I didn't know, for all our viewers. I am an intelligent man, but in some places I am not. I'm ignorant. So I would definitely like to say I had some chipotle or lay or however you say, and I don't eat there all the time. My kids eat there all the time. I rarely eat there, and I like guacamole, but I couldn't finish the bowl, but I had a guacamole in the bowl, so I thought, hey, yeah, just put it in. And nah, this is definitely wrong choice.
How soon after you ate it? How soon did that guacamole betray you?
Bro, probably about an hour, bro. An hour, bro. I don't know. My wife was like, bro, we might have to take him to the hospital, bro. I was in so much pain. I didn't know. I didn't know.
So you went a whole hour. You just living life, doing your thing, and then all of a sudden, just like it just hit you like a truck.
Yeah, and I'm talking like I'm on my living room floor, bro. On the living room floor, balled up, boy. Just balled up. Yeah, can't take it.
Damn,
but I know
boy.
now. I know now.
You gonna eat some guacamole with me?
Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not, man. Yo, we definitely had a world record at the Adidas Games, man. Favour
world
Ofili.
record. Oh yeah,
15-8, bro. I don't think people can really understand how fast that is. For a female to run 16-1, right, is very, very fast. You know what I mean? This young lady ran 15-8, which is really, really fast. Now, usually in a 150, you run half of a curve with a straightaway, you know, to quantify it, you know. At 15-8, you would say this young lady is somewhere around, if she runs 15-8 with a half curve, she's definitely in world record shape to threaten the world record flojo, right? But it's a straightaway. So you have to run a whole curve. And we all know speed travels faster in a straight line. So with the whole curve, we definitely know she possibly won't be doing it. But I would definitely say this young lady is in 21-second shape with that time. Reason being, the opponent that she beat was Tamari Davis, who was already ran close to 21 or 22-0 or something like that this year. So for me, that lets me know, man, she put her away, and she put her away really well. At 15-8, man, I can't wait to see Favour Ofili run a real 200. Can't wait.
I love seeing Favour Ofili back on the track. And I mean, like, in a way where she was when she was at LSU, right? Like, she ran at LSU like she was the second coming. Like, he was like, oh man, here she come. Like, and then she kind of went dark for a little while. You didn't hear nothing really about her. And she probably was just getting acclimated to the transition from collegiate to pro, and probably handling a lot of stuff when it comes to like paperwork and P1s and immigration, all kinds like that, which a lot of people in our sport don't understand, right? Spectator wise. But now that she has everything in order, she's back running hard, fast. To run 15:85 is ridiculous. Tamari Davis had to go out there and PB. And her PB was 16:14.
It was 16:3.
Before, but she just ran 16:1.
Yeah, bro. It prove she was in the Grand Slam too, which proves she's a little sharper this year. She beat her PB by 2/10.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. That tells you a lot. That Favour is definitely on par to doing something really crazy if she gets out there and handles business in a really traditional turn, comes off that turn, and she still does what she does. So shouts out to Favour, man. Welcome back to being on the map, doing your thing, and all the ladies in the race as well.
Yes, definitely shout out to her, man. Shoot.
Would you go to Nigeria? Have you ever been to Nigeria?
Nah. You know what? Salim said he was going to take me because he got a place over there. Salim Justin and I both are a good friend. He's a hurdler from Nigeria, but he ain't never. One day,
every time you talk about Slim, the first thought that comes to my mind is that time when Dennis was what would you call it? What was Dennis doing that day? Dennis was breaking down. Right, so Dennis was out there throwing hurdles, trying to throw him over the fence. Dennis crashed out.
Yeah,
Dennis crashed out.
He's had a few of those. Yeah,
he was tired of the hurdlers. Hurdlers weren't getting nothing done that day. He came over and started trying to throw the hurdles over the fence. Now, mind you, the hurdles were probably like in lane 7, right? So he grabbing the first hurdle. It's like 3 hurdles. He grabbed the first hurdle, throws it over the fence. Second hurdle, throws it. It only gets to the fence. Third hurdle didn't even leave the track. He's talking. He's talking and cussing the whole way while he's having his whole little crash out. He's like, man, y'all hurdlers don't want to get the damn job done. And y'all out here thinking that I'm just going to waste my time. And then y'all just need to hurdle.
That 40 years old, the 40 plus years started catching up with his ass.
Hey, lack of plyometrics started catching up with his ass. That's what that was. But my point what I was trying to make is every time I think about Slim, I think about that moment, and Slim was just standing at the start line, and you already know how Slim is. Slim was like this.
And he probably looking like, hey, this is how Slim think. He be like, but I paid for training all month. Do I get this training day back? Like in on a recoup?
Hey, he was definitely thinking that, but in the moment, he was loving the crash out. He was loving the crash out.
He was. That's just funny, boy. Look, I even forgot about that.
Man, Slim got to take us to Nigeria, bro. And Slim tripping, bro. Salim, what's up, man?
Yeah, always. I always recommend go to people's countries for people who know around that country. Don't go. I mean, yes, you can go and visit, but people who know the country you always have a better experience when you go with somebody that's from there. So that's why I'm waiting on Slim. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go there, you know what I mean, get lost or something, get locked up abroad. I've watched Locked Up Abroad. I don't want to get locked up abroad.
Yeah, I was going to get scammed over there.
Boy, they going to come for you, boy. You better be easy, boy.
What? They don't. Listen, they know it's the capital of scamming. They've already acknowledged that. I'm not, listen, they're going to come for me if I say every Nigerian is a scammer. That's not true at all. But the fact is, they know that they have some elaborate scams and they've come from Nigeria. We know that's true. They had the biggest scammer who's ever did it. And he made multi-million dollars off of Americans from scamming, Doug. So,
Listen, me and Slim had a whole drop-down argument about this, bro. Listen, I tell him, I said, bro, they call it a Nigerian letter, bro. He's like, no, they don't. I was like, Google it. And that came up. He was so pissed. He was pissed.
Listen, the crazy thing is, I got a Nigerian letter from Jace's mom while she was sitting next to me on the couch. And it said, I'm stranded overseas. I need your help. Can you please send me money? And I showed her the letter. I'm like, oh, you overseas? You need some money?
That's wild, but Slim's our boy, man. Shout out to Slim.
For sure.
He gonna be mad we talked about it. I can see him at my door tomorrow. Why'd you talk about that? I'll be like, man, it's just a show, man. I'm gonna be like everybody else, man. It's just a persona for the show.
You have embarrassed me.
I know, what? The 150 for man. Ferdinand Omanyala won 1470.
What'd you think?
It says about where Ferdinand is in about the 100. You know, he doesn't run a lot of 200s, but it's 1470 says right about where he is. You know what I mean? Around 99, 10-0. You know what I mean? Terrence was in the race. I was happy to see Terrence from the Bahamas. I loved the way Ferdinand responded when Terrence got up with him. He responded and he just like took off and like really went for it. He looked really solid in that race. Now, something in this race, the person who I really wanted to see, right? I think this was the race that Noah was going to run. But the person who I wanted to see that got put out of this race because of false start was Argando.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic, yeah.
You know what I mean? I've just talked about him, but I've heard Otto Bolden says something about the false start rule, which I thought was a great idea, right? What do you think about this? Right? He said, in a 9-lane track, the person who's ever the bubble, like the 10th person that just missed the final, should warm up also. And if somebody false starts, they should insert that person immediately. That way we have no empty lanes. What do you think about that?
I love it. I love the idea because at the end of the day, that person who's on the bubble is standing there off on the side of the track just in case a false start happened, a legitimate false start. And then they can be like, all right, you out, he in, let's go. All right, set your blocks, let's ride, you know?
You know what's crazy?
Listen, that's going to be the biggest hater in the whole stadium, period, bro. They're going to be standing there at the start line off on the side of the track wishing like, oh, hope one of y'all false start, boy. Hope one of y'all false start.
I think it creates good drama for our sport because one, you could have anything happen. I mean, in 2019, you were on the bubble. You made it in on time. You went on to get the silver medal. One of the first people who was on the bubble to go ahead the medal, right? You could have situations like that or even crazier. So you think about when Bolt false started in the middle of the track, somebody would have got a better lane being in the middle of the track being on the bubble, which is crazy because they line you up in the track based on how you finish in the semifinal with the people who have the better times in the middle to the people who have the worst times out towards the end. So if somebody false started who was in the middle, you get that lane. Like, I think it's an excellent idea to send like a 10th person or persons who false starts in the sprints, only in the sprints, not in like the 800 or anything like that, because it only matters in the sprints, 400 meters and down, including the hurdles. You sent that 10th person out. I think that's a great idea.
So where do you stop it at? Because you already know how our sport is. Our sport is you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. Somebody going to stand up and say, well, what if there's 2 false starts? Do you bring the 11th person in?
No, just one. And then, then just one. You stop it at 1 because that makes for the good story. If you have another person false start, oh well. But I think that is a definitely good rule. It makes for good drama. That person's warmed up, ready to go, spiked up. You know, you give that person maybe 2-3 minutes to set their blocks, pop out. But you know what I mean? Immediately once they say that this person's out, that person's immediately in. I would love to see something like, but I would have loved to see his 150 though, especially after he ran 19.8.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see his 150. I would have loved to see his 150 against Noah because he would have tested Noah's legs, boy. He was going to test his legs.
100%, 100%, boy. Especially if he's already in that shape, he definitely would have tested them legs for sure.
Yeah, according to our friend over there, Anson Henry, his analytics of who the fastest man in the world is, Akani Simbine was there. He is the fastest man this year. 986. He didn't even know he ran 986 until he was interviewed. But 986, what did you think about his race?
Listen, Simbine has finally found that rhythm, and that's probably come with maturity and the realization that, all right, you're a vet now. Like I said before, once you establish yourself and you find that rhythm, hurdlers talk about it all the time. Hurdlers will tell you, oh, old buddy got the rhythm right now. It's going to be very hard to beat him, you know? So I think that's what Akani is right now. He has a rhythm. He's in really good shape. He's always leading the pack and finishing strong. So to run 9.86, but it was a 2.3 wind. It doesn't take away the performance of Akani because I know that he can run 9.8. So that means within a race or two, he's about to be at that level already. So he's the dude right now. He top dog. He top dog. He run his times. He knows how to run it, and now he knows how to balance running those times and competing to be able to get those times and compete at the level where I'm still coming across the finish line first.
Nah, in his interview, he said he's going back home to train. I would have liked him to stay and enter Grand Slam. I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that. You know, I don't know what his 200 meters looks like, but it would be, I know what his 100 looked like. He would have made money. Probably would have got that work in there too. They would have worked him in there too. But I would have loved, because it's Philly. It's right up the street. He right there. He trained in Atlanta, stayed in Atlanta for a while, trained in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And then, you know, fly up to Philly. And then he could fly right out of Philly, right back to South Africa. Yeah, I mean, he just stay one more race, get a double in for a little workout, and then chill out. I would have loved to see him in the Grand Slam.
I would agree with you, but I think that the path that Akani is on, it's a legacy path. It's the fact of he has an opportunity to get on a podium for the World Championships. So I think that anything that's going to push him or maybe give him injury, I think he definitely needs to stay a little far away from that. I would love to see what he does in the Grand Slam, but they would definitely give him that work in that too. They would give him that work in that too. He actually probably pushed him or pulled him to a faster time. You know what I mean? You know, he'll say, "Hey, I did all I can do up to 150. What y'all got?"
You gonna get him I'd like to see him run the 150 at the next Adidas Games instead of the 100, because this is the second time he's done the 100. I'd like to see him push his limits a little bit and run a little bit out of his zone. So I know that's a comfort zone for him. I want to see Akani a little uncomfortable to see what happens. The women's 100 was pretty fast. 11:09 was last place, bro. 11:09.
Yeah.
But 10:98 for Ty Cabria Sturgis and Mackenzie Long. Yeah, what I mean, we have two young women who was spinning on all cylinders, and we haven't heard these type of times from Cabria Sturgis in a while. You know what I mean? So it's good to see her running fast and running 10:98, because for a while she was like 11:4, 11:2, and we all know her caliber of running is somewhere in the 10:7, 10:8 range. So it's good to see her back to that type of run. I'd love to see her run again. What were your thoughts on the race?
Well, I mean, we talk about this all the time. We know Cambria was hot. She was hot when she was in college. Over there at North Carolina A&T. She dropped 10.7. She was running 200s that were very, very good 200s as well. And then once she turned pro, it kind of was like, all right, where did you go? You know what I mean? But I think she had to get acclimated to being a pro, realizing like you're not going to run every weekend. You really have to train. She may have got knick-knack injuries here and there, and now she's back healthy and strong and making a comeback. I'm glad she's back on the scene. And to watch that race between Mackenzie Long and Cambria, like they gave it their all that day. You could tell. Like they ran to the line. Like they ran to the line and bumped each other. Like I'm about to take this win. You ain't. No, I got this win. No, I got this win. And that's what it looked like. So watching both of them run all the way to the line, it showed me that their level of competition is where it needs to be. Now, I also know that Mackenzie has been a little banged up with her knee. She has some issues, and she explained it to me why she didn't run the relay at Tom Jones, but she ran the 100 because she had injuries with her knee. So I hope that is healed up. Clearly, it's healing very well because she's out there banging it out with Cambria to get the win, or to be able to come across that line with the 10.98 and a 10.98. So both of them came away with a season's best, and that's what we need in our sport. Like, don't lay down, fight for it. Like, if someone's going to beat you, they got to go out on PR or get a season's best. And both of them went out there and got a season's best. Almost everybody in that race got a season's best from that race. So shouts out to them. They did a great job. Obviously, Mackenzie's been on the show, so we know how she operates, and she wants to make a name for herself. She wants to go out there and show the world, like, I can make this legitimately without just having the in-seasonness of Ole Miss on her from her collegiate in-seasonness. Now she's coming out straight from on a professional platform. She's coming to race hard. She's coming to race strong, and she's showing that she's doing it. She wants every inch. She wants every second. She's coming for it.
Man. And our next race, we got Trey Cunningham handling business as usual, man. Trey on the road, man. He out there winning 100 meters, winning Grand Slams, doing this thing, man. Listen, he says, if I'm healthy, I'm damn near unbeatable. That's what he said. Like I said, man, I'm waiting to see when all these guys from Trey Cunningham, Grant Holloway, Cordell Tinch, I'm waiting to see these guys lock up, man. I'm waiting to see these guys lock up. Boy, because when they do, Broadbell, think about what that's going to look like, bro. Cordell Tinch, Broadbell, Grant Holloway, and Trey Cunningham, man. Listen, boy, that's going to be something. Something wild. Something wild. He definitely put away the field at by 2/10.
Listen, when I see the time that Trey's running right now, I hear a theme song that's going off in my head. The theme song is, I got money in the bank. Shorty, what you think? I got money in the bank. Shorty, what you think? Because, I mean, since the moment Trey started his season off, he has shown that he wants to rise to the occasion. Came out running 13.0. Then he went over to Grand Slam and ran another great hurdle series, and then backed it up with a sprint series, and then went overseas. Well, now he's over in Atlanta and he ran 13.1. So he's exercising what his dominance is. He's exercising the fact of, okay, I can get in the front of the pack and lead the pack. This is what I was talking about earlier about that rhythm. When a hurdler has a rhythm, it's very hard to beat that hurdler because they understand what is approaching the hurdle. They understand what it is getting off the top of the hurdle. They understand what it is making sure their trail leg and their lead leg is operating and in sync with their trail arm and lead arm. And they are out there competing at a very, very high level. So this might be just an average race for Trey this year. He's already ran 13.0 a few times, and then he's come back and run 13.1, 13.16. So that might be like a race where he'd be like, I got the win, I got the W. So if that's the case, if you're out there running 13.1 with no real competition pushing you to the finish line, we know that if you are in traffic, you might run something special. We might see Trey go out there and drop a sub 13 this season. So if he stays healthy, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to definitely be on the team. He's going to be one of those guys to probably get on that podium as well.
True. And the women's hurdles, man, our old world record holder, Kenny Harrison, had something to say. She came and she spoke up. Even though she's small in stature, she spoke up. She's like, hey, all those women running out there, I am still here. They are running fast, but I am still here. For one, I haven't seen Kenny run for the year, if she has run for the year, but I must say, if this is her first race at 12:30 with a 2.1 win, this was a great race. And she put away really good competitors who've been competing this year, and Grace Stark and Tia Jones.
So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if your wind is over the allowable, they don't say that it's a season's best, right?
No. Yeah, okay. Correct.
But for her to go out there and run,
but not in the pros, no.
Boy, when they go out there, she ran 12:30, and for 2 seconds, my mind was so warped, Rod. I was like, "Oh, 12:30, that's pretty good." And then I had to be like, "Whoa, wait a minute, 12:30, really bro." 12:30 is really good. 12:30 is really good. 12:30 would have had her winning. I think 12:30 would have had her winning the Olympic trials, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
crazy.
yeah, that is crazy. She did it. I love seeing that from her. You know what I mean? Because we know that right now in the women's short hurdles, it's very dog eat dog. And all those women are all in that same bracket. Look at that. 12:30, 12:36 by Tia Jones, 12:36 by Grace Starks. That means that a margin of like this much separates them. And this is something that's constantly happening in the female short hurdles. Like they're competing and racing and winning by this much. By this much, bro. So that means that how they train, they have to train very ferociously, very fiercely, because they know that their margin of winning is not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a dive, a neck twist, or a whipping of the hair, or whatever they got to get done to get across that finish line first. But shouts out to Kenny, man. 12:30, 2.1 win. I'm not even looking at that. She ran 12:30 to me. That's legit. That is a season best. That's the best time she's ran in a while. I'm glad to see her back. Keep doing your thing.
Bro, listen to me, bro. The USA trials gonna be crazy. You got Kenny 12:30, Tia 12:36, Grace Stark 12:36, but we know Tia already ran 12:19. Then you got Masai, 12:17. Listen, then you still got Nia Lees out there. Listen, boy, this hurdle group right here gonna be something crazy.
100%.
I don't know.
Nah, I agree with you.
Man, shoot. But that's the wrap up the Adidas meet, man. We're gonna take a flight, man. We're gonna fly over to where the World Championships are gonna be, man. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Tokyo Grand Prix, man. Now,
When we taking this flight, man, I want to give me a first class seat so I can kick up a little bit. What we got? What's going on in Tokyo?
man, but we got the world champion and Sha'Carri Richardson opening up her season. You know what I mean? This was a lot of people waited to see what she was going to do. A lot of people was like, where is she at and everything else. And this was a season opener. She got fourth place, where Brie Rizzo of Australia was first place at 11:38. Tunisia Titi Terry was 11:42. Sade McCreath of Canada was 11:46. And Sha'Carri Richardson was 11:47 in a negative 0.9 win. Now, I've had a discussion with a few people today. They called me and they asked me about it. And I was like, I'm not worried for Sha'Carri. You know what I mean? She has a bye. So her timetable doesn't look like everybody else's timetable. Her and Noah have really different timetables than everybody else. They have to just basically show fitness at the U.S. trials. They don't even have to run all the rounds. They could just run the prelims. They don't got to even win the prelims. And they go on, correct me if I'm wrong, and they go on to the world champions as so it be so. Now, if she wants to run the 200, she would have to compete in all rounds and actually make the team for the 200. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
So her timetable definitely is very different from others. There is no rush for Sha'Carri to run super fast, super early. And I noticed that she had something on her calf. I don't know if she had issues early in the year or anything else. I'm not making excuses for her, but I'm saying her timetable is not everybody else's timetable. But I do want to congratulate the winner in Brie Rizzo from Australia at 11:38. What's your thought?
Yeah. I think it was a race. For whatever reason, when I go to Japan, I never ran fast when I went to Japan. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the air, the environment, maybe the food. I don't know what it is, but it seems very hard for me to get up and go in Japan. Anytime I've been in Japan, I've only ran like, I think sub 10 one time. And I was like way early in my career. But I think right now, just, when you look at her, this is her first race out, not really too pressed on it. Be flying on the other side of the world, so jet lag is going to take effect. A couple of these athletes already been in season already, so let's see what happens in the next couple of races. Then you can really make a decision of like, okay, where we at now. You know what I mean? So I think she'll be fine. She'll be good. TT has, watching TT's social media, she then went from China to, I think, Korea, back to China. So she's been traveling on that Asian circuit, ping-ponging back and forth, and that could be tired on you too. You know what I mean? So just take your time, know where you at, go get that money, go run those races, and then when it's time for you to show up athletically, you got to show up. It's time for you to show up now.
She got time, man. She got time. The men's 100, we had Yanagita. I hope I said that right. Hiroki. I hope I said that right. Of Japan. Man, he's showing out for the home crowd, man. 10:06. Put away a pretty solidified field. I was proud of Christian Miller. I'm proud. This is his first international meet overseas as a pro, as a Puma athlete. And I think he did very, very well for his first meet. Now, we know the young signees out of high school, that shoe contract the shoe company not really looking for you to do a lot your first year, but I think he's one of those guys who's like, hey, even though y'all don't want a lot, I'm going to give y'all a lot because I believe in me. And I was very proud with his performance, man. That's 2 10-0s he reeled off back-to-back. Against really formidable competitors. The person that got third was Christian Coleman. What do you think about that race?
I think Christian Miller said, "Look, I'm the new Christian in town." he's 2-0 on Christian Coleman for sure. So I am proud of C. Millie because he's going across the ocean and running internationally now. And usually when you have young athletes like that, they're very narrow-minded when it comes to 1, preparation, and then 2, culture, and then 3, when it comes to like jet lag and how you handle yourself in those situations, right? So clearly he's up to par. He's handling stuff like a true professional. To be able to come away with a 10:08 there in Japan, like I take my hat off to him because he's done a very, very good job. Listen, first place, Nagagita, like he said, hey, this is my territory. I'm Japanese. I'm coming to run. If you gonna run a 10:0 anything, listen, you about to be lunch because that's my territory. And I call that the Mike Rogers effect because Mike Rogers know what he can run. And if you gonna run anywhere close to what he can run, you gonna have some problems. You're gonna have some problems because Mike's gonna handle business. And clearly, Yagita said, Japan is mine. I'm coming to run fast. I'm coming to run hard. I'm coming to handle business. And he put away Christian Miller, put away Christian Coleman, and the rest of the field as well. So, but I think for C. Millie, he's proven himself that he can be in this professional realm. He's exercising his athleticism. He's working on his race strategy. You saw that from Tom Jones in Gainesville, now here in Japan. So I like to see exactly how he's going to like unfold his in shapeness, his race strategy when it's time to get ready for those rounds at nationals.
I think he's going to be better prepared this year. You know what I mean? I think he understands what's at stake, and he's not running super fast, super early. He doesn't have to reel out the 9s, but I think coming in the middle of the season, he'll start. I give him till next month and some June meets. He's going to start to drop 9 seconds. And once he start to feel himself, beware. Because that young man, once he's confident, we saw him, once he's comfortable, he going to run. He going to run once he's comfortable, which is 100%. very, which is very good from him. Very, very mature of him, man. And I love, if you watch his page, man, he always is encouraging the people of his class, because he was supposed to go to Georgia, and people who are signing now, who are at Georgia, because he was supposed to be there at this time, he shouts them out. Even when Tebogo runs fast, or even the kids who ran 992, he's shouting them out, posting them on his page. He's a very positive young man. He's a Christian, you know what I mean? Like his name, He's like I said, yeah, I mean, he professes his faith very, very boldly. So I like that about him, man. Great young man. Every time he sees me, man, he embraces me with a hug. So, yeah, I mean, so that I definitely salute him.
Yeah, man. Keep that same fire, man. Keep taking those gloves off and come out swinging, C. Millie. You know what I mean? When I first came on the scene, that's all I thought about. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this to all of my ability. So handle business, man. No matter where you're at in the world, go out there, come out swinging, and see where you at. You didn't went from second place. He got second place at Tom Jones, right?
Yeah, second place. Then another second place.
Second place at Tom Jones, and now he got another second place all the way across the world in Tokyo. He's probably looking at it right now and be like, I can do this. Yeah. I get in a little better shape. I think I can do this for sure.
Yeah. Him and his coach are doing a good job, I must say. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
We had Andre de Grasse in the 200 with Robert Gregory. Now, I don't know if you remember, if my memory serves me correct, on that 4x1 at Florida Relays, he was on the USA's finishing leg, and, you know, de Grasse kind of ran with him and then ran away from him. Not in this 200 here. They locked up. And I was like, not today. After 150, he started stepping on the old boy. But to be clear, they ran into a negative 2.0 out there. And 2024, the negative 2.0 ain't bad at all. Andre de Grasse was 2029. What's your thoughts on that?
This next generation of athletes, I peeped game a while back. My last year, I had to go run an open 400. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, I know I don't run the open 4, but I'm running against some teammates and some college guys. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, already me coming in, they're going to be a little, like, nervous or weary. Like, oh, man, damn, Justin Gatlin's about to run. Like, he a legend. Gun went off, got on that backstretch. Rod, them college kids ate me alive. You hear me? Listen, they blew past me like I was just standing there like, peace, Gat. and the point I'm trying to make here is that when you have people who are coming in the game young, like Robert Gregory, and they're facing off against people like Andre de Grasse, who already has accolades and has proven himself in our sport, these guys they're not bending the knee. They're not bending the knee for guys who are legends in our sport or high-profile athletes in our sport. They're like, I'm coming to get mine. So clearly, Robert Gregory's like, coming off that turn, I'm coming to win. And that's what he did. He's like, I'm coming to run this race, win this race, come away with some money in my pocket. These athletes are different from the athletes of our past, where they had so much respect for the elder athletes that came before them that they weren't so in awe. These athletes are not in awe at all. They're like, all right, you got it. Good. But you're going to have to get it against me. Here I am now. So shouts out to Robert pulling off the dub. Keep on pushing forward, man, and keep doing your thing. I think for Andre, he's bounced around a lot this season. I mean, well, these couple of seasons. And I think he's just trying to really find his rhythm again. We know that. And we also know that Andre doesn't really perform at a high level in normal season. Like, once it starts to come down to championships, Diamond League, stuff like that, then that's when the Andre that we know peeks his head out and he gives you a little something. So I'm not too concerned about that, but I think he's just trying to find his rhythm of where he is. And I hate it for Andre because I know what it feels like to be displaced. I know what it feels like to be, I'm here this season, then next season I'm over here, and then this season I'm over here. You want to find a place to where you're kind of like settled. You're feeling confident in your workout regimen. You're feeling confident in your preparation leading up to the season, and you're ready to kind of like fire on all cylinders. So I hope that he's able to get that rhythm back for him and go out there and perform at a high level.
Sure, your favorite event, man. 100-meter hurdles. Toni Marshall. We had 2 Americans finish 1 and 2 that are no strangers. Analia Armstrong. Yeah, I mean, 12:54, 12:68. This is great for Toni Marshall. You know what I mean? I think our last race, she was at like 12.8 to come down 0.3. Let me know that she's making progression in the right direction. 12.5. I was just talking with somebody the other day. I can't remember who. And I remember when we were training, like hurdle times like 12.5 and 12.4 were like world championship winning times. You know what I mean? You can medal with 12.4. Boy, you can't make a team 12.4 now.
Boy, what? Listen, that's pressure on you right now.
I tell you. Yeah,
Pressure
so
on you.
when we say like 12.5 is a really solid time, it is a solid time. You know what I mean? It's just, boy, these girls then just souped up these 100-meter hurdles. I don't know what happened or what's going on, but they just out there doing what they need to do. But yeah, man. What'd you think about the race?
I think Toni did a great job in her race. 12.5, especially overseas, getting her legs wet, for the season, really. I'm happy for Leah Armstrong. I know Leah Armstrong personally. I know that she's been dealing with really finding a home for herself and finding confidence to be able to be at that next level of being professional. And she was super excited. If you ever watch her page, she was super excited to be out of the country and competing. So for her to go out there and run a 12.68 on the other side of the world, probably dealing with jet lag, that's a good step in the right direction, So now these ladies can come home, back to America, wherever it's going to go next, and start a kind of building off of that, because they're going to need it. Because once you step to that line at Nationals, and now it's going to be a Toni Marshall, a Leah Armstrong, a Masai Russell, a Tia, a Kenny,
Grace,
Grace Stark, Grace, a Lele. It's going to be, listen, it's going to be like, for us watching, it's going to be a dream come true. For those competing, it's going to be a nightmare, because you're racing as probably most of the top athletes in your event all at once through 3 rounds. And it's going to be a gauntlet for those ladies. And it's going to be very aggressive. It's going to be very fast. So they have to make sure they prepare for that.
All right, it's definitely going to be exciting to watch, man. But that's what they want. When you compete against the rest, I think that's what made their event so fast. It's like the best going against the best every time. You know what I mean? So it's like, we are pushing each other to the limit every time. So I think that's definitely what happened to that event. That's coming so quick now.
Yeah.
Shoot. The 110 hurdles, man. That Japanese young man, Rashid Muratek.
I'm saying Muratek.
Yeah, or Muratak. You might say Muratak. Yeah, either
Maybe.
or. But Rashid, remember, we called him out. We said that this is the guy from Japan who gonna hold it down for Japan when worlds happen, man. You know what I mean? And Abe, his countryman, Tatsuki, I hope I said that right, got second with 13.27, but they both ran into a negative 1.1. But Rashid is the one who I want you to keep that eye on. From Japan, that young man is doing really well. He was in Paris. He ain't medal. Listen, he know this was coming to his hometown. He like, you look, I'm going to be ready. I want to put on for my city. I want to do it. Like I said, look, 13.1 and the negative 1.1, but conversing to something like 13.0, possibly 13.01, something like that. So now you line him up too. You know what I mean? Our friend Dylan Bear got third with 13.3. So now you line him up too with the 13.1, with the Trey, with the Grants, with the Cordales and all this, man. Listen, boy, these hurdles starting to heat up, and they heating up good.
Hey, it's starting to look like it's about to like come back into that golden era of the 110 hurdles, bro. Like, you having athletes from respectable countries that are dropping respectable times to run a 13.1 into a negative 1.1 win. That is a respectable time, bro. He's right there with them. Like you said, if you calculate that and even give him a no win, but even give him a tailwind, that means he's there. He's 13.0. And you could even say he can go sub 13, with the right conditions. So he said, this is my house. I'm protecting it. You know, anywhere we run somewhere else, I might be in traffic a little bit, but this is By far, I am the best athlete in Japan. If you step in Japan, I'm still going to be the best athlete.
And he definitely was that on that day, boy. Listen, that was definitely a good race, man. We're going to move on, man, to the 400. Reese Holder of Australia, 44.76. Really good time. I don't know what Australia doing down there, but listen, they going to have a real solid team at Worlds, bro. They going to have a real, and it ain't like when Sally Pearson was running it with just her.
Yeah.
They going to have a group. They going to have flags outside their window, you know how, like, when you in the village, you know, they put the flags. They going to have a couple flags. They going to have a couple floors to themselves. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a group of them. Listen, shout out to Australia, man. You guys are really, I want to talk to some of the coaches in Australia, man. I'm scared of Australia only because of what I've seen online, but I don't want to judge Australia because of what I've seen online. Because I remember, this is what
are you talking about? What are you scared of Australia for? What are we talking about here? What happened?
Boy, the spiders, the snakes. Oh, listen, bro, they got regular spiders like the size of your hand. Boy, ain't no freaking way. Ain't no freaking. The kangaroos look like they take creatine. Listen, they just run up side of your door like this.
Listen, bro, you know Australia is a first world country, right? It's civilized, right?
Yeah, like it
ain't finna be kangaroos driving around in fucking cars trying to meet up with you and try to bang.
You been to Australia?
I've never been to Australia.
Tell me about it. Okay, get somebody on the show who been to Australia to tell me that. Listen,
I want to go to Australia. Listen, there's a difference between going to Australia and going to the outback. Like, I'm a second guess going to the outback. You know what I mean? The outback is where all that stuff is.
Listen, bro, I'm seeing, bro, they got spiders the size of puppies.
Oh, man, you making it sound like it's a whole different world out there, for real.
Listen, bro, listen. But like I said, I don't want to judge it based on what I see, because people definitely put stupid stuff like that out there. I remember I had a roommate in college. He was straight from Japan, and I had my homeboy would be like, I used to look like Makai Pfeiffer from 8 Mile because I had dreads in college. So he's like, you can imagine the Japanese kid come inside the room, and he was so frightened, right? He was so scared, like he would sleep with his eyes open, like.
How do you do that? What are you talking about? You scared him so much he slept with his eyes open. He was like this.
But listen. After a while, I made him feel comfortable, because I was like, bro, why are you so scared? He said all they showed in the Japanese country, all the movies they showed were like gangster movies with black people with dreads. So he was definitely like scared because I had dreads and I was black. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not dangerous. Well, at least I wasn't dangerous to him, but I wasn't dangerous at all. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So in my head, I was like, when he told me that, I was like, oh man, that's why I'm saying I don't want to judge Australia by what I've seen, because I felt really bad that his only interpretation of black people was gangster movies that they showed in Japan. You know what I mean? Now, after a while, we ended up being the best of friends, man. I want to shout him out, man. His name, he had an American name. I can't remember his American name, but I remember calling him by his real name, because I was like, I'm not calling you that because that's not your name. His name was Yasutoki Takami. Wherever you are, Yasutoki. Yeah. Hey, yes, man, I'm shouting you out, bro. That was my roommate in college, my freshman year.
Yasutoki. Yasutoki was like,
he played tennis.
Takami was, he looked at you and was like, this dude about to rob me. That's how he looked at you, bro. But I get it. I understand. Like when you're not kind of like understanding the culture that you're immersing yourself in, you're only going to go off whatever you see is happening around you, and whatever movies, news portrays you to be, or the culture that you're going to be in, right? So that's what he saw. He thought that you was a bad guy, and realized like you was probably one of the best people he's ever met in his life. You know what I mean? So
he used to go back to Japan. He used to go back to Japan. That doesn't mean that you're nice.
What he went back to Japan or what?
He used to bring me back like all the newer phones. Like we were so behind, bro. You know when we had like little Sony Ericssons, he would come back with like the Motorola V60s were color, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is the phone in Japan." And I realized, like, we thought we had the new stuff. We had like the old stuff because over there in Japan, they way ahead of us.
Listen, I had a phone when I was competing in 2005. I had a phone that they gave me from T-Mobile, and the phone was like a regular phone, but you can slide up the back of the phone, and it will take a video for you, like how you do now with your camera. You can go front camera, back camera kind of thing. But this phone, you could do FaceTime before FaceTime even existed. Like, we were way behind on everything. But like I said, you met a guy who understood who you was, and he was a very nice Japanese guy. I don't think you're gonna meet a nice kangaroo or a nice puppy spider. I'm sorry. Bring a big stick. Get out.
I'm trying to tell you. I am trying to tell you. Listen, big stick. I don't see. This is a little off topic, man. I would say this, man. I don't see a lot of people. You know what I haven't seen? Speaking of puppies, bro, I haven't seen chow chows. You remember the chow chow? That was the reason why a lot of people used to walk the streets with sticks, boy. Chow chows and pit bulls.
Yeah, I feel like chows have been banned or something like that. Chows were just mean dogs, period, dog. They came off mean. Like, that's one dog you didn't want to see. You didn't want to see a chow come around the corner.
They're like a miniature Tiberian Mastiff. Like, they're really mean.
Yeah.
I realized
meaner.
that the other day. Oh, man. Back to Tokyo, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, our fans, man. We catching up on some things. Trevor Bassett wins the 400-meter hurdles with 48.50, which is a solid time for him, but he was ran all the way to the line by those Japanese young men. And Ken Toyota, that's wild. That's wild. Toyota. I felt kind of racist reading it. Like, I was like, wait a minute. You call that man a Toyota. Wow.
It doesn't have a T in it, it's a D. Toyota. Ken Toyota.
Ken Toyota and Ogawa, Mr. Ogawa, both ran 48 seconds for Japan. These guys are going to be the guys going into the championships for Tokyo. Listen, it looked like Japan has ramped up their training. It looked like they're ramped up their coaching. They've invested in their athletes, and they definitely want to have a good showing in that stadium. I heard the stadium that they ran in was the actual stadium that Woods was going to be in. So,
yeah,
you know, a lot of the people wanted to get their feet wet in time and just, you know, hey, I feel like I'm going to put my feet here because I'm going to be here in September. But for some folks, that won't happen. For some folks, it will. You know what I mean? So it's good to get like a first glance at the track and a feeling of it early. So hats off to them. Man, another news, man. We had a great performance out of a young man, who I would like to talk about, man. I showed him love before, but man, he went out there after this little NIL with Adidas. And he put on for the city, boy. He put on for Arkansas for that little Razorback, boy. Jordan Anthony pulling off the double-double. Well, that boy done ran 9.95 to win SECs and came back in 1993. But why the 200 was a surprise for me. Sharon, bro, I had him winning, bro. He lost me money. He lost me. He loved, cause I mean, if you look the way that young man looked in the prelim, boy, that boy dropped that 19 so easy. He's been running at a high level in the 200 all year. And I mean, I guess, you know, that guy, Jordan Anthony, after winning SECs in the 60 and winning NCs in the 60, I'm running NCs in the 60-meter dash, and he just came out firing on all cylinders like, yo, I'm the one. I'm him. You know what I mean? What was your thoughts about that young man?
Man, listen to his interview after the races. Like, he really is standing on business, dog. He believes in his faith. He believes in his preparation. He believes in where life is taking him right now, and he's seizing every moment that's in front of him. We know as a short runner, he can get the job done from the 60, now running a 9.95 with no wind. That shows you right there. He means business. He's handling business. Like you said, I think a lot of people didn't have him winning that race, but for him to pull off that double and to do it in a way, but like, I'm me. I'm that dude. Like, you ain't finna stop me. That shows that he has confidence. That shows that he's gonna take that next to the regionals, and he's gonna go out there and say, if I can do this in the SEC, who gonna stop me at nationals? If I was him, that's how I look at it. If I can do this in the SEC, who stopped me national? So
that's definitely a fact, man. Like, he went out of there and he put his foot on the ground, and he was definitely like gone, especially at the 150. I don't know what was going through his head, but he was like, man, I'm already the NCAA champion in the 60. I might as well go ahead and win SECs, and shoot, I'm already at the 200. I might as well get that too. You know, what I mean?
I can hear that conversation in the back of the one pair. I mean, you got it. Might as well go for it, dog.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, I mean, so I definitely want to say, I think I called him Michael Jackson arms on one of his 100 he came through the line. Hey, my boy, you out there doing it. And he's not that big of a guy. You know what I mean? I think he's maybe about 5'9", 5'8", or something like that. Whipping like that, running 19 is crazy. Shoot, I wanted to do one more honorable mention, man, that I forgot to talk about. At the Doha Diamond League, man, we had Sha'Carri from India and Julian Weber throw over 90 meters in the javelin, bro. These dudes almost threw out. Like, if you was running from them in 100 meters, they could get you. They could, hey, I would javelin the hell out of him, boy. Where you going?
Hey, testing the gauge of the wind.
So, because it's in meters, people can understand how far that is, man. So I want to definitely shout out to the field events. And Chopra, I said Chopra, Neeraj, who is Indian, he is actually one of the most followed athletes. Guessing because he's from India, there's a lot of followers that follow him, and he's one of the most followed athletes in our sport, if not the highest, like, followed athlete in our sport. So I definitely would want to, which is crazy. But 90 meters is crazy. It's like, he could be like, run if you want to. I will spear your ass.
And to be honest, when you look at this field, I'm looking at this field, and this field has athletes who are champions already. Welcott was Olympic gold medalist. I think the Egyptian also has a medal. You look down to the Kenyan, who is also a champion. So it's not like it's just a regular standard field and you went out there with all the confidence in the world because you had no pressure from competition. Like, this was a competitive field, and he went out there and did this thing.
Yeah, man, shoot. We have any current events we want to talk about? What's going on right now in the world? We gonna handle one current event? I know one current event going on. I don't know if I want to touch it though.
What current event is this?
Track Spice, man, about who is the owner of this Track Spice page.
I don't, bro. To be honest, bro, I need to do a better job of keeping up with TikTok banter.
Me too.
When I see Track Spice, I think of Track Spice on Instagram, and it's ran by a page who kind of keeps you up with all the races that's going on.
That's what I thought.
So when I hear people talking like, oh, Track Spice, blah, 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 I'm like, what? Track Spice is good. They talk about some good stuff on there. I don't know. But I guess on the Twitter side, it was a lot of mess that was going on, bro. So I don't know what was happening with that. Like, people were trying to out each other. They're trying to find out who was the culprit or who was running the Track Spice page. People pointing fingers at each other, man. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot, man.
Listen, if you running these pages, you have to know when you go to these meets, man, these people gonna see you. You know what I mean? You can't be a fan running the page. Now, if you one of those people who do that and, you know, you in the basement somewhere typing and you ain't going to never be at no meet, yeah, that's fine. But you can't be running no page and showing up at the meet. Now, I don't know who it is. Somebody texted me and asked me, I didn't even know about Track Spice. Listen, I barely know how to operate my phone. So I had to go research what was it about. You know what I mean? But I know that's definitely something in our track world that's floating around about who is the owner, and people are trying to out people, and people are trying to figure it out so they could pin the tail on the donkey. That's what I'm going to call it. Pinning the tail on the donkey. But
facts.
I don't know if they really found out or if they really know. People have a few inklings, but if you out there talking smack, man, I think you should put your face on it, man. Put your face on it, talk smack, I mean, and do your thing. But just know when you talk smack, it comes with consequences. You got to be ready for them consequences, man. You got to be ready.
True.
And we have a few people that talk smack that are open on their pages. They are very open. When they talk smack, they will go to your page, seek you out, seek your mama out, put a poster and everything like that. We have some people out there that's like that. I mean, but if you ain't like that, don't be throwing a rock and eye in your hand, please. Please come out. Come out, put your name by it, stand on it, 10 toes down.
With that being said, man, I think we covered everything for the week, bro. For sure.
I think we did, man. Hopefully we have some good episodes coming up for you guys. You know, we have a few interviews that we're going to do. We hope that you guys stay tuned. Follow us on Discord. You know what I mean? Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Let's get to 100 subscribers, man. Right now we at 78,000, I think. Help us, man. Share our page. Tell somebody. You know what I mean? If you really like our show, man, share it, like it, and everything else. But until next time, we thank you guys for being with us. On our next time at Ready, Set, Go!